Woman separated from her sister makes a bold move to get answers. In 1975, the Vietnam War was in its final months and the city of Saigon was being devastated. Soon, rumors started spreading that certain women and children were unsafe. See, during the war it was common for American soldiers to father children with Vietnamese women. The mixed-race children and their mothers were at extremely high risk due to the northern Vietnamese threatening the lives of anyone associated with the US military. Getting those women and children out of Vietnam became a monumental and very urgent task. Those families were airlifted out of Vietnam and relocated elsewhere, often in the United States. However, things didn't always go according to plan. Like when 2-year-old Rose and her 4-year-old sister Bernie were on their way out of the country with their mother. In the chaos of the city, their mother realized she couldn't find Rose anywhere. Bernie was still next to her, but Rose was nowhere to be found in the suffocating crowd. To make matters worse, the plane to safety was about to leave. Their mother had an absolutely impossible choice to make. Her options were to leave her child behind or stay in an unsafe area, threatening all their lives at the chance of finding Rose. She made the decision that would haunt her for the rest of her life. Bernie and her mother left Rose behind. Bernie Slowey and her mother moved to Nebraska and settled with her father. The small family had 3 more children, but nothing in the world could fill the gaping hole in her mother's heart. "I could never understand it entirely, and my mother never spoke of it," said Slowey. She knew her mother was wrought with shame and crushing sadness because of the missing daughter. Bernie, of course, wanted nothing more than to locate her long-lost sister, and she made valiant efforts to make it happen. During her 20s, for instance, Bernie made a trip to Vietnam to find her sister, but found out nothing. In 2012, her mother died from a diabetes-related illness, never to know what became of the daughter she left behind. Bernie said she believed her mother died partially from a broken heart. Although her mother had passed on, Bernie had no plans of giving up the search for her sister. She decided to do something drastic to get the word out. In 2016, she did a TED Talk in Denver where she shared her story. She waited patiently, hoping that in this modern age someone, somewhere would hear her talk and be able to help her find her Rose. Years went by. She heard nothing. This heart-wrenching story was completely unknown to Vanessa Pham, a Vietnamese woman living in America. She didn't know much about her past or her original name. She only knew a few things about her background. She did know, however, that she'd relocated to the United States from Vietnam with adoptive parents. Now, she was living on the West Coast with her husband and children. Desperate to know more about her history, she started digging. Years went on, and her continued efforts to understand herself appeared to be fruitless. Willing to try anything, she bought an ancestry kit, wanting to know the truth about her past. This, she figured, would help her get answers. She sent in her DNA swabs and waited. It didn't take long for the service to get back to her and inform her that she actually had relatives in Colorado who also submitted their DNA. "It just made me feel so happy," she said. She reached out and connected with the distant cousin she shared DNA with in Colorado, and he pointed her in the direction of Bernie. The 2 sisters immediately got on the phone, attempting to piece together their broken story. Finally, another DNA test confirmed what they knew to be true the second they spoke to one another. The women were full sisters. They were ecstatic about reuniting, but Bernie knew she had to deliver some grave news. Sadly, she told her sister that their mother had passed away 6 years earlier. They would not be able to reunite. Of course, this news was a massive blow to Vanessa. "I was like, I am only 6 years late," she said. Even with this news, the sisters arranged a face-to-face meeting where they could have a proper reunion. After 44 years of separation, the women embraced at the airport gate with tears streaming down their faces. "This is a dream," said Vanessa, "and I'm afraid to wake up. I have been walking for so long. I have been gone walking and wandering for 43 years, and I just want to come home, and I found my way home." They are now inseparable. The sisters talk almost every day and are planning another visit soon, and Vanessa adopted Rose as her last name. The sisters were so relieved to be back together. They knew others in their position weren't so lucky.